o'clock. It is now 9. But I just got back from England this morning and I had like 4 hours sleep. Went for a quick nap. Ended up being a little longer. The time kind of got away from me and I had to get some dinner as well. So I do apologize for that for anyone who was expecting to be on at 8 o'clock. Um, yeah, I don't see anyone at the moment. So I guess I will wait until people come on. I always still get nervous. Well, I've only done it twice, but like I always still get nervous doing these live streams. Something different about being live, you know. But yeah, happy Easter. Hope you all having a good weekend and things are going well for Easter. I have eaten way too much. Usually I wait till Easter Sunday, but I have eaten way too much sweets from the when I was over in Brighton yesterday over the weekend. Um, way too many sweet shops, like those old school ones. I went there like twice, and yeah, I've eaten way too much. But it is rare. When I was a child, I used to do it a lot, but it is rare these days. Um, so I'm trying to cut down a bit. But I have an Easter egg. I always have an Easter egg, so I'll have that tomorrow. Indulge a little bit. But I have been good the last few months coming up to Easter. I haven't eaten too much sweets or chocolates. But yeah, guys, movie talk anyway, as we always do. So if you want to let me know any movies you've seen recently or anything else you recommend I should watch for the channel, always feel free to throw it in the messages. And yeah, just chill and wait. Uh, Incidentally, I don't know if any of you have ever been to Brighton. It's absolutely beautiful. Um, a friends of my girlfriend, I went to visit them, and beautiful place, really, really nice. I would recommend it way more than London. To tell you the truth, very picturesque, right by the sea, very nice place, very enjoyable. Um, definitely worth a visit. Um, to be fair, I haven't been up the north of England, um, so I can't really talk on that. Some of that's supposed to be really nice as well. But Brighton was definitely lovely. And also Cornwall. I've never been to Cornwall, but that's supposed to be really nice too. Um, but yeah, definitely as I said. I know I was in Worthing, which is like about 45-minute train trip from Brighton. So Worthing was quite nice as well. But Brighton was really cool. Nice kind of alternative spot. Um, Little bit like Camden, I guess, in London. Some of it was kind of alternative shops and that. So it was pretty cool. Um, Planning to watch Beneath the Planet of the Apes tomorrow with the girlfriend. So we watched the original one last couple of weeks ago for sci-fi season, and I have another. I must actually remind. I have another science fiction film lined up because it won on a poll on my Patreon. Which one won now? There's a few of them in contention. Um, yeah. So the day the Earth stood still. So that will, yeah, it's one out against the thing that came from another world. So the day the Earth stood still will be so it'll be beneath the planet of the apes. Then the day the Earth stood still, and then I may switch on to another genre possibly. I think I'm gonna wait till June to go back to westerns. So just trying to decide what genre to go to next. Maybe I'll go to like do a bit of old horror. Maybe some of the old Hammer horror films. I think most of the people who are on the channel enjoy the older movies, so it's kind of become my thing, I guess, in a way, for the most part. It's going back to the really old films, but we'll see. I did a bit in the war, currently science fiction, and then maybe horror, um, or maybe kind of I might do. Hmm, yeah, not maybe horror. We'll see. Though. Maybe I'll do polls for it as well. People can decide what want to do. God, it's warm here. Heating was on. No, it was on for so long. It's very warm. It always feels so strange because you can see if anyone is watching, and like currently there's no one watching, and you're just like talking to yourself. So it's a conversation with myself, so I will talk to me for the time being. Maybe that could be a play. I mean, there's been one-person shows before, often throughout the years. Maybe we talk to them. So, but also just because it would be interesting actually, because like with social media, now people almost have a version of them, almost like a character of themselves online. Like the pictures are often taken and all this filter and multiple takes to get the right picture. It's almost kind of insincere and not natural. So maybe there could be something to that. Maybe a bit of potential about someone talking to themselves online. So the real person talking to the character. Maybe something like possible. Always kind of jotting down ideas for plays. So many ideas. Some I really need to get a few of them completed. Some of them I have a lot written on them, but I haven't them polished and finished. Um, but I really should get some done. Some out there. I recently did a play. It's been a busy few weeks actually. I did a play last weekend, so Thursday to the Sunday, 4 nights. Absolutely loved it. Uh, Thought it was draining on the last night though, like mentally just fatigue. But really missed always the first day or two after. Does that come down because you've been rehearsing for months, meeting the same people, and then it's just like gone. It's like tough. It's a tough part of it. You're always kind of looking for the next role, eager to get back in. Although there was talk, the director said that we may go back in a few months and maybe take it on the circuit around Ireland or something. There's been whispers of that, which would be cool. We'll have to see. Usually do a kind of a watch party as well, a few weeks after. Although I will say, watching plays recorded, it's never the same. The live experience in the audience. It's fun to go back and watch it. Well, in some ways, sometimes I find it tough sometimes because I'm always kind of. I think everyone is always self-critical of their own performance, so you'll almost always kind of focus on what you could have done better. Like, oh, what was I thinking there? Like, what was that decision about? Should have done that way differently. So you always kind of focus on the negative rather than the positives, I think. So sometimes it can be a bit difficult, but it is fun to meet up with the group and kind of go back and watch it. Yeah, it's definitely a good way to kind of reminisce about the performance and kind of notice things you hadn't noticed there. Because often, if you're not on the stage, you're backstage, so a lot of the stuff you don't even see. If you're seeing it, you go, "Wow, that's how that kind of played out." I mean, you see elements of it in rehearsals, but seeing it out live in front of an audience, it's a different animal. So yeah, probably regretting it now that I didn't actually make it for 8 o'clock. Um, sure, look, if people come, they come. If they don't, they don't. It's going to be a big thing for Jaws. I was thinking, like, so Jaws is having its 50th anniversary. Back to the Future is having its 40th anniversary. The Goonies is having its 40th anniversary. There was something for the Breakfast Club, also 40th anniversary. So there's a lot of big movies having big um, anniversary kind of commemorations for movies. So Jaws obviously being the big one. But well, Jaws to be honest, I love Jaws, but Back to the Future is I'd have just ahead of it. I think I had Jaws at number 5 or 6 of my favorite movies of all time. Back to the Future would be number 2. It would just miss out to Stand By Me, which will be celebrating its 40th anniversary next year, 1986. Great movie. So yeah, anyway, Star Trek reaction should be back next week, and Beneath the Planet of the Apes, introducing the girlfriend to that, that'll be up. Um, well, we're recording it probably in the morning, um, and I should have that up for next week, next Friday. So hopefully, actually, did for originally quite good. Well, quite good for my standard of views that I would get on videos. I wouldn't, not compared to some of the other big ones. Um, Hi, Cosmic. Hello, and how are you today? I was supposed to come on at 8, but I got a little I was saying at the beginning of the video, I was just coming over from England. I was in Worthing and had like 4 hours of sleep. It was an early train to get to the airport, and then so yeah, I went to sleep for like an hour and ended up being like nearly 3 hours. So I kind of lost track of time. But to get something to eat, so I've done a little later than I intended. But how's your weekend going? And you've anything planned for Easter weekend? Glad not at least have one person watching. For a while there, I was talking to myself and I was talking about how that would be a good idea, possibly for a play, where like people often, I think, they show versions of themselves online on social media, almost like a character with pictures and filter and trying to get the right image. And I was saying if the real you is having a conversation with the character version of you online. So I was saying just talking on the camera to myself, it might be an interesting idea for a play or even a short film or TV show. Well, maybe not a TV show. I don't know how much mileage you get out of a scenario like that. So maybe a short film would probably suit it better. This was also I picked this up actually when I was in Brighton. It was cool shops with this image of Sting with the police. Massive police fan. So I gotta get that up and get it framed um, sometime up on the wall somewhere. Have you watched any movies recently or TV shows? I was just talking about how the Jaws 50th anniversary is coming along, and then like how Back to the Future is celebrating its 40th anniversary. So is the Goonies and the Breakfast Club. I saw a thing with the cast of the Breakfast Club reuniting online about a week or two ago as well. A lot of movies celebrating these uh, anniversaries, commemorations, which is pretty cool. I'm hoping Jaws is released. I've seen it in cinema back in 2012, but I hope it's re-released again here in Ireland. It probably will be. But I'd love to see the 3D version of it because apparently it looked amazing in 3D. And I would love to kind of have a new kind of experience because I did it with Jurassic Park, and surprisingly, it looked really, really good for a film that was obviously originally intended just to be released in 2D to look so well in 3D. It was really staggering, but really, really worked well. I was very surprised. I was just happy to see Jurassic Park in the cinema. But it looked amazing in 3D, so would love to see the same for Jaws. Sometimes just let it be. Yeah, let it fill it. Just let it simmer for a moment. Just like when you're having a conversation with someone, and they reference it actually in Pulp Fiction. I think it's Uma Thurman's character when she's talking to John Travolta's character, and she says like, "You know, you're comfortable with someone when you can just shut the fuck up and just." I'm kind of paraphrasing a little bit, but basically what she was meaning was you can just sit down, be quiet, and you like don't need like you need to fill the silence. That so you know you're comfortable with someone. It's very true. If you don't know someone that well or you're uncomfortable, you really feel the silence. And it's like, oh, think of something to say something, say something, say something. Um, but then I always think like in a play, that dramatic silence, it can be so palpable. It can tell a lot or create a mood. Same in films as well. Like they can just do so much. It's funny how much power silence can have in certain situations or scenarios. And I just did it. Fill the silence. Talking about silence. And are you gonna have any Easter eggs tomorrow? I got the big, massive, I don't know if you have the little small Kinder eggs, but I got the big, huge ones. I love Kinder eggs. I always think they're like, I always think there's a comparison between Kinder eggs and the Cadbury's cream egg. It's weird. I'm a big sweet tooth, but like, I think Cadbury's cream eggs are just too much to stuff in the middle. too sugary and the chocolate's kind of thicker. I think like a Kinder Egg is a little more subtle and smooth, as I like to say. I any kind of Kinder chocolate. The Kinder Buenos are amazing. The regular ones and the white chocolate ones. And then there's like it's the Kinder, the little mini ones, like little skinny chocolate bars. It's like chocolate and the white stuff in the middle. Um, Anything Kinder related, I just absolutely love, really, really love. But it's always like a Kinder Egg. I have the little mini one. Someone got me a mini one, a friend of mine, and I have the big, huge one. And then I got a Bounty Easter egg, which is just regular chocolate Easter egg and two little mini Bounty bars. Although I remember years ago when I was younger, you'd get two bars with the Easter egg, but they were like regular size. But now they just put two little mini sized ones in with Easter eggs, which is kind of disappointing. They're always changing stuff. Same with like, I don't know how it is in America, but like in Ireland, and I think it's the same in England as well. They've added like a sugar tax to soft drinks, to most soft drinks, and most of them have been ruined. Because I always kind of, at least in recent years, I would have like a soft drink sporadically. But when I had one, I liked it to be sweet. I like to have a nice sweet drink, and most of the sugar's gone out of it now, and it's all kind of artificial sweeteners, which probably worse for you. But there's a big sugar tax now, so they've completely reduced the sugar. So a lot of the drinks that I really liked are not half as nice. Like I don't know if you probably might know, like be familiar, unless you're from Ireland, you mightn't be familiar with Club Orange or Club Lemon or Club Rock Shandy. They were like, particularly Club Lemon and Club Rock Shandy. They were amazing drinks. Absolutely loved them. A cold can on a summer's day was just like it was nothing better. But they've ruined those drinks. They're not nearly as nice. Fanta as well. Fanta Orange was really nice, and you can tell you can really kind of you can feel the change. I don't know about Coke because I don't really have Coke that often. Well, rarely have Coke. It's nice in a glass bottle, but it would be on an odd occasion during the summer. I was never a massive Coke fan. But I do like having a glass bottle. It has that retro feel. Um, Sidona, I think that's probably just in Ireland. I'm not sure if you can get that anywhere else. It's kind of like an apple flavored, uh, kind of like like a cider, but like a soft drink version of a cider. That one is kind of still the same. And Seven Up, I can tell slightly, but it's still nice. It's still nice. But a lot of them have been ruined from the sugar tax. So it's a shame. Ruin everything. As I said, like the artificial stuff that they put in, I don't think that's like really um, much better than the regular sugar that they put in. The sugar tax. But yeah, it sucks. Ruining it for all of us because they already have like club like zero stuff. There's like Coke Zero. There's all different versions of that for other drinks. So they already had that out there. So why did they have to kind of mess with the regular one? You had the option of the one with less sugar. But, it's a shame. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing for kids and that if they're having too much of it. Um, but yeah, do miss it on occasions. You go, oh, Club Rock Shandy or Club Lemon. Rock Shandy basically is like it's like a lemon drink and an orange drink mixed together. It's really, really good. Or at least was at one time. But yeah, I was just saying as well at the beginning of the video that so I have two more. I'm going to do Beneath the Planet of the Apes with my girlfriend, and then I'm going to do. I think it's. Just looking at the poll results. I had two up. Yeah, it was the thing that came from another world and the day the Earth stood still. So it looks like the day the Earth stood still has won that one. So that and Beneath the Planet of the Apes will be the next two sci-fi films that I do, and then I'm going to move on to another genre again. I'm thinking maybe horror. I might look at some of the Hammer horror films and some other older horror films. Um, and then I think in June I'll go back to westerns for a while, and I'll bounce in into another genre. Let's see what happens. And then I'm trying to think like for TV shows. Like I think I'm only halfway, just come to the halfway point of season 2 of the original Star Trek, so there's still a good bit to go on that because I've season 3 as well. So that's going to be going on for a while, really. So I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but I was just thinking of other TV shows that I could watch. I would love to watch Deadwood for the channel. Um, just because obviously westerns have been the main staple of the channel, and it's supposed to be a great show. I like Timothy Olyphant; he's a good actor, so I would like to watch that on the channel maybe. I've Gunsmoke. I've gone back watching Gunsmoke, and that's the first 16 episodes are on the channel, but I've gone back watch. I'm back watching them again now, but they're now on exclusive to the Patreon page and for channel members. So if you enjoy the Gunsmoke reactions, that'll be the way to get them going forward. And then I was thinking like maybe also watch that one with Clint Eastwood, Rawhide, because I've gone through all of Eastwood's westerns. I think there's one actually I haven't watched, but he's only got like a smaller role in this. Maybe I'll watch that at some point, just for full completion. But I watched all of his major westerns, so that Rawhide's kind of the only one left from a western standpoint that I have to watch. So it was kind of cool to watch that with Eastwood. And also was kind of the first thing that he did in the genre, because that was obviously before it was that, and then he was on to the Man with No Name trilogy. So that would be cool to watch that. Um, I was trying to think of other shows that I could watch. Um, I watched the first episode or two, about a couple of years ago, of The Fugitive, and I really, really, really enjoyed that. So that's another one I think might be cool to watch on the channel. Um, is The Fugitive. I really like the concept of it. Thought it was fun. Was they 1, 2, or 3, something like that. First maybe 2 or 3 episodes, but I really, really enjoyed them. So I think that might be another one I might look at for the channel. But again, it's going to be Star Trek for a while because of Buddy and Halfway through season 2, which is just things to think about for the future going forward. I've seen some people have been watching some Val Kilmer films since his passing recently, um, and Heat is one I've had on my list for a while. So maybe at some point, not immediately, but maybe sometime in the summer, I'll get to that because it's supposed to be a terrific film. Obviously, with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro as well. So that's another I want to watch. So at some point, I hope to get to that. Val Kilmer, though, like he is to this day my favorite Batman. Like maybe part of it is nostalgia because we had Batman Forever on video back in the mid '90s, and also Jim Carrey was in it, and I love Jim Carrey. But I think Val was just a little unlucky that when he came in for the role of Batman, they kind of the tone was changed a bit. I think that's why Michael Keaton dropped out after the first 2 films. Um, but there's certain scenes with him, like where he's reminiscing back about when he lost his parents, that were really, really good. And for me, I enjoyed him best as as Bruce Wayne as Batman. And like, if you could do that in Batman Forever, like obviously the Dark Knight and them are better films, and not taking anything away from Michael Keaton or Christian Bale. Um, Clooney, Batman and Robin, that was just a whole other level. I mean, Batman Forever was went a little silly, but Batman and Robin was just laughable. I mean, Schwarzenegger has some great lines in it, but God, that was a bad film. I mean, as a child, I enjoyed it, but not a good film at all. But I still stand with it. Val Kilmer for me is best Batman. Although let's not forget Adam West, the old Batman series from the '60s. God, love that show. Such a fun show. What was it? I can't remember his first name. But Romero, the guy who played the Joker, and you can literally see he wouldn't shave the mustache. So you just about make out the mustache under the makeup. I remember watching the film and like trying to figure out, um, who kind of known super criminals not currently in prison. And the big video file comes up and it's like, it's like the Joker, Penguin, Riddler, Catwoman, and it's like could be any one of them, but which one? Which ones? Pretty fishy. What happened to me at sea? Remember, there's a fish that could be a penguin. Precisely, Robin. Wait, it happened at sea. See? Sea for Catwoman. That shark was pulling my leg. The Joker. Oh, Batman. It all adds up to a sinister riddle. Riddler? Oh, Batman. A thought enters my mind. A thought so scarce I dare give it utterance. Their forces combine. Batman, could it be? Holy nightmare! Love that scene. Love that scene. Just so, like so easily, but in like a minute. Oh well, of course, it's all four of them. Shark was pulling my leg. Happened at C. C for Catwoman. I need to rewatch that film. But yeah, the TV show was great stuff. Watch on Saturday. Obviously, repeats on Saturday because I was not alive when it first came out. Maybe that's what I should do when I'm waiting around. Just uh, reenact movie scenes. Let's see what can I do. Um, so many. Now, Martin, swimming girl goes out swimming. Swims a little far. She tires. Fishing boat comes along. It's happened before. I don't think you appreciate the gut feeling that how we respond to this or something. Larry, I can appreciate it. I'm just reacting to what I was told. Martin, look, it's all psychological. You yell barracuda. Everyone says, huh? What? You yell shark. We got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July. Right, you can bring us back now. I love going for kind of like obscure lines in the sense that they're not central to the plot. Um, let's see what else can I do. He's going to eat the goat. Excellent. What's the matter, kid? Never have lamb chops? I happen to be a vegetarian. If Pity wasn't a movie on there, you could guess what it's from. Let's see what else. What else can I do? Um, Beware the beast man, for he is the devil's pawn. Alone among God's primates, he kills for lust, or greed, or sport. I have that mixed up a little bit now. Yeah, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Something, then shun him, for he is the harbinger of death. Yeah, another one. Let's let's see. This is what I'm going to do from now on. I'm waiting for people to come on. I'm just going to. Maybe let me know as well. Send us okay. Maybe get some messages. Okay. Let's see. What else can I do? Let's see. God, come on. Some movies. I'll let myself down here. Overthinking it. Let's see. With all due respect, sir, I think that your experience with the Borg is affecting your judgment. You're afraid. Just try to ship and run away. You coward. John Luke. If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand. Get off my bridge. Yeah, my wharf was pretty bad there. I was trying to get the. Let's see. Come on. Why are things struggling for me? I'm known for like randomly quoting movies. Oh God. Come on. It's shite being Scottish. We're the lowest of the low. The scum of the fucking earth. The most wretched something. They will never shat into civilization. Some people hate the English. I don't. They're just wankers. We, on the other hand, are colonized by wankers. Can't even find a decent colony to be colonized by. It's a shite state of affairs to be in, Tommy. And all the fresh air in the world isn't going to make any fucking difference. I wouldn't dare do the Scottish accent because I just cannot master it. But for anyone coming in, I'm just randomly doing lines from movies. I'm trying to go with kind of lesser known moments. Although that one probably would be one of the more famous moments of Train Spotting, I would imagine. It was a really good moment. And then one from Jurassic Park. I was doing one from Jaws, a little bit from Planet of the Apes. I started with the old Batman movie from the 60s with Adam West. If you're just coming in, I was just talking about how Val Kilmer. So it started actually. I started on Batman. I was talking about how Val Kilmer was my favorite version of Batman. I know Batman Forever wasn't the best script in the world, but I liked him the best. I really liked him, and there was some really good moments, as I said, like when he's reflecting on the death of his parents. He's talking to Nicole Kidman's character. I think it was Chase, was her name. There was some really good moments there. So I really do think that Val Kilmer for me was the best version of Batman. I do wonder, are they ever going to bring Robin back? I know they had someone that they alluded to. What the fuck is going on? And hello, Lorinda. I was just doing random lines from movies, doing a live stream at the moment. So you aren't sure. Yeah, that was the Train Spotting I just done a second ago. I did a line from Planet of the Apes, Jaws, Jurassic Park. There was basically no one on at the time, so I was just like, I was going to fill the void, the space, with some random lines from movies. But how are you? How's Easter going? And if you have any plans for the weekend? Oh, you're gone. Okay. Maybe she'll be back in a bit. People can hear me, I hope. Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Maybe let me know if you can hear me. Hello? Hello? God, I hope people can hear me. Maybe I should now. Okay, there is one person watching at the moment. Oh, thank you. You can hear me though, can you, Lorinda? Just want to make sure that the volume's actually working. Because the thing usually is a little meter thing that kind of goes up and down. I was also just talking about kind of some of the upcoming videos or movies I'll be watching. So I'm planning to introduce my girlfriend to Beneath the Planet of the Apes. I showed her the original one last month because I'm doing some sci-fi films at the moment. And then The Day the Earth Stood Still, it won out in a poll on my Patreon page. So I'm planning to watch that as well. And then I'm going on to another genre again. And then in June, I'm going to return to Westerns because I still have to get to Western 100. I still have one more poll to do on that actually since January. Because I've done kind of like subcategories of certain movies getting to the final for the final poll to determine what would be the Western to watch for Western 100. Yeah, I've heard really good things about it. Obviously, I'm going to watch the original version. I think it was a new version that came out in the 2000s or something, but I want to watch the original version from the. Well, I'm assuming the 50s was the 50s version was the original version, but that's the one I definitely intend to watch. As I was saying earlier, I've become known for primarily watching the really old movies, which I love. That they have a charm. They really have a charm, which I really like. So I'd say it maybe might have been the best weekend to do. People they have plans for Easter if they celebrate it. The original is the only one really. Yeah. No, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there wasn't a remake. I thought there was a remake, but maybe I'm wrong. Um, but yeah, because I watched uh, when Worlds Collide, which I never really heard that talked about. I watched that a couple of weeks ago, and I really, really liked that one. I thought the human aspect of it, of deciding who gets to leave and who doesn't, was a really great kind of element to the storyline, and I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was really good. I'm surprised that it's not talked about more. I thought it was a very good film. Um, um, Planet of the Apes, which I had seen already, but I said I introduced my girlfriend to it. That's like one of my all-time favorite films, and I think it's. I've watched the new Planet of the Apes movies, and they're good. Like I have enjoyed them, but for me, nothing compares to the original one with Charlton Heston and that kind of specific setting. It's almost like a Stone Age setting, kind of. I just love that. I love them still to this day. I love the makeup of the apes as well. I think it's such a good film. Always loved it just from a child. Just the setting alone used to bring me into it. Um, just really, really enjoyed it. The music is strange, you know. It really had. I wasn't surprised when I got into watching Twilight Zone. I wasn't surprised to hear that that Rod Serling had wrote it. Klaatu Barada Nikto. Barada Nikto. Ah. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, that was like I wasn't sure. Okay, that's from the video search. Okay, all right. I'll try and just not read up too much. Why did I think about Evil Dead on that as well? Though? Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. It's supposed to be a very good one. What other kind of science fiction films like Lorinda have you enjoyed over the years? Or some of your personal favorites? What did you think of Planet of the Apes, the original? Are you a fan of that? I loved what's that one called? Men with the X-ray eyes. That's on my list actually. I've definitely put that on my list. Um, I do enjoy those kind of like. I have to say, I really, really liked. Like, watched about 2 years ago, the Incredible Shrinking Man. I thought that was a brilliant film. Really, really good film. Um, and I enjoyed Tarantula was fun, and then I like those kind of like the creature feature science fiction films. They're fun as well. But The Incredible Shrinking Man, I thought was a really good film that had like really good kind of exciting moments, but also from a philosophical standpoint, I thought was a really really well made film. Really enjoyed that. I must revisit it actually. Really enjoyed that one. That was really good. Um, I'm gonna put up the list actually. Let me see what else do I have. That was kind of science fiction. Look here. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay, let's do the westerns. Hope I have that categorized. Yeah, kind of mixed them. I need to categorize the rest of them. I have the westerns categorized. But... Oh, Thousand One Space Odyssey obviously is another one that I need to watch. Seconds. Have you heard of that one? I have that written down. 1966 sci-fi drama. Um, let's look at the war ones. I just did that back in March. There were 4 or 5 of them. So later in the year, I'll probably go back and do a few more in the war ones again. There's definitely a few more sci-fi ones here, but I can't locate them at the moment. The War, the War of the Worlds. Another one, and then there was one. I wanted to actually watch the Lost World from like 1920s. I think it's one of the first. Oh, sorry, Sunlight from Outer Space. That's was oh, what's that guy's name? Like all the radiation movies from the 1950s. Like seconds, it was an excellent film. But yeah, Sunlight from Outer Space, and that's supposed to be kind of one of the best bad movies of all time. What's his name? Johnny Depp played the guy. They made a film of him about him. I can't think of his name. It won't come to me now. But yeah, I'll have to watch that at some point because I've heard so much about it. Ed Wood, thank you very much. Yes, Ed Wood. That's it. I need to watch that as well. I've actually, I got that as a birthday present about 10 years ago, and I still haven't watched it. I have it on DVD. Maybe I'll watch that on the channel. Actually, Ed Wood. Being a movie lover and like kind of like I like to create stuff, whether making short movies and writing and acting. Uh, my brother had seen it and said I would love it. Um, so yeah, I definitely should look into that and watch that. But also Plan 9 from Outer Space as well. Maybe I'll watch Plan 9 from Outer Space first and then watch Ed Wood after. Might be a kind of a double bill. Maybe 1 week watch Ed Wood or Plan 9 from Outer Space, and then the following week watch Ed Wood. You might do that. Um, it's seconds. Let me just Google that. Where's that? 1960s. Oh yeah, okay. Ah, sci-fi thriller. Oh, that's one I had down. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't want to read too much about the one I'm giving away. So just reading from the premise and listening, you might have kind of a mental breakdown. Right? Glenn or Glenda is pretty hilarious. Maybe that one. Put it down though. Oh, that's what it is. Sorry. Okay, Glenn or Glenda. I thought you weren't sure. Glenn or Glenda. Wow, back in '53 by transvestite. Might have been a bit for the time. Like obviously, you might have found it a bit daring to kind of have a piece about that. Oh, Edward again. Okay, okay, cool. Guess I'm getting a few. Let me write down a couple more of these. So I'll slide it down here. One sec. Oh, it's good to get more suggestions. Okay, now I get the title Kendra Clinton. From outer space. Is sci-fi your favorite genre, or would there be a specific genre that you enjoy most around that? For me, like for a long time, it was probably horror. Just I just love the atmosphere that it conjures up, and even as a child, I was always kind of like I was a little kind of excited but also scared. The original Invasion. Oh, that's a brilliant film. Yeah, I watched that on the channel. The original, really, really good. That felt like to me felt like a long feature length episode, like a feature film version of an episode of Twilight Zone. Because I absolutely love the Twilight Zone, which I need to finish. I'm only like a just got into season 4. I have the 5 seasons on Blu-ray, and it's been a while, but I need to get back to it. But as I said, Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a brilliant film. I must watch the 78 version as well with Donald Sutherland, and I think Leonard Nimoy and Jeff Goldblum are in it as well. I'd like to watch that version. Supposed to be good as well. But I really, really, the original one from the 50s was a brilliant film. I really liked that. That was really good. Let's do, maybe I should do a ranking sometime of the films I've watched on the channel. Kind of like some of the ones I enjoyed most. Um, I think of the do love horror, but I love more everything except rom coms. But yeah, I'm not really big into rom coms either. It's not really my thing. Um, you have the odd exception here and there, but in general, it's never really like one. I'd be like, you know what, I want to watch a rom com tonight. I'd never kind of source it out. Maybe if someone else said, if you're with someone and they want to put it on, you might sit down and watch it. But I'd never like actively go, oh, you know what, I want to watch a rom com tonight. Never kind of entered my mind. But yeah, the 78 version, I must put that down. Of Body Snatchers. That's that one too. Love Jeff Goldblum, Jurassic Park, Fly. Really good actor. Of course, Donald Sutherland's son Kiefer, great role in Stand By Me. That's one of his first roles. And of course, he was in a lot of stuff, but I loved him in Stand By Me, and he was very good in The Lost Boys as well. Never watched 24, the TV show. Love Asian horror, Audition, stuff like that. Yeah, Audition. I really want to watch Audition. That's supposed to be a pretty fucked up film, but I really, really want to watch that. I've heard great things about that. I loved the Ringu. So not the original version, Asian version of the Ring. I thought that was really good, proper creepy. I thought it was definitely the American version was okay, but I thought the Asian version was definitely better. Um, they don't hold back, do they? The Asians when it comes to horror. The audition supposed I've heard is pretty fucked up, but I haven't meaning to watch it for some time. Ju-on I've not seen. I'm not familiar with that one. I just know that. Oh, is that like the? So it's like various ones. So Ju-on the Curse. Is this what the Grudge was based off of? Because it had like the Grudge, that film with Sarah Michelle Gellar. So I guess that was the American version of Ju-on as well. E.T. Killer and Old Boy. Let me put add that to my list. I'm just writing it down here. And what was the other one? Was Old Boy. Okay. Just add that as well. 2003. Yeah. So many horrors, or so many films, I should say. It's hard to get to everything. There's ones that I had planned to watch like about 2 years ago, and then sometimes you kind of just goes out of your head, or just things change with the schedule, or just life kind of gets in the way sometimes. Save that. Yeah, Audition though, that's definitely one that's been for a while I wanted to watch. Bong Joon Ho is the host of the month's movie, not to be confused with Host. Okay, the Host. Okay. Yes, 2006, yeah, horror sci-fi, and it's like, yeah, it's an yeah, it's an Asian movie anyway. The Host, 2006. Appreciate the suggestions. So thank you kindly for that. What time is it actually where you are at the moment during that? It's just after 10 past 10 over here. Let me stay on for another 10 minutes and then I'll have to head again. To be honest, if you hadn't come on, I probably would have finished up a little earlier because I've been bored. Okay, there you go. 6 hours behind. I remember when I was living in the States, it was always weird when I was bringing back home to my family and kind of sometimes forgetting that it's like, you take into consideration the time, like if you ring a little later in the evening, like you're obviously going to be in bed. I kind of forget that sometimes. Do you ever watch the Hammer horror films? I was thinking of watching a couple of them when I kind of wanted to go back to horror for a bit. Because the plan is for the last few months was kind of uh, spend like a month, maybe maybe 5 weeks on a certain genre, and then go on to another genre, basically. So instead of turning on science fiction. But I wanted to go to horror, and I was thinking of doing a few of the old Hammer horror films. Quite a lot. I went through a period of watching quite a few of them. There's a lot I still haven't seen. Excuse me. So I was thinking of going back or into that kind of raised us on TV. Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously, uh, I don't know what it is. I'm not saying like all modern movies are bad or TV shows are bad, but when it comes to films, I always gravitate more towards the older stuff. I always have this theory, and I think it is because they're from a time that I wasn't born. And for me, movies are like a sense of escapism. You're going into the story. I think the fact when I'm watching stuff from an era I wasn't alive in, I feel like it pushes you further into uh, that escapism. I think that's one of the reasons why I do generally, I wouldn't say all the time, but generally, I do prefer older movies to modern films. Um, Argenti Fulci. Oh yeah, some of the Italian horrors. Yeah, I watched Demons recently. Actually, did you ever see that one with I know Argento didn't direct that one, but he produced it. But where they're kind of they're trapped in like a cinema, they're watching a film, and then like what's happening in the film starts happening. The person gets infected. They put on this mask, and then everyone's trapped in the cinema. That was really good. Love Suspiria. The music and visually, that's fantastic. And then there was one. It was like set in Italy, in like was it Milan? No, I don't know if it was Milan, but with a serial killer killing these kind of was it models or actresses, I think. Um, and what you call oh, what's his name was in it? I think his name. No, he was the father in Nightmare on Elm Street. The chief of police, who played Nancy's father. He was also in Enter the Dragon. Um, oh god, I can't think of his name. But I know he was in it. He played like an agent in it. When I was a child, I amused myself watching all movies on TV and reading. Yeah, we have good taste. Like I mean, lot of the stuff that you mentioned and kind of the genres that you mentioned. It's really good stuff. Um, like I also really appreciate when I watched the Twilight Zone on the Blu-rays. They have like some of the adverts of the time that would have been aired. I remember like they had like after one of the episodes on the disc, they have like an advert for Gunsmoke. So they're actually showing you what the audiences would have seen in the late 50s. And I just thought that was so cool. It's such a time capsule. And it's just really cool to see those kind of things. Like you have like Rod Serling advertising cigarettes and like saying, my doctor recommends this whatever brand it was he was promoting. Such things that like you'd never see today. It's fascinating to see that kind of stuff, and it's really cool as well. Because I remember Twilight Zone, I keep going back to it, but like I remember when I first started watching that, I thought like I was like, this will kind of be a fun show, a bit silly, a bit, a bit cheesy, but it'll probably be fun. And what's going on when I grew up. Yeah, just different times, wasn't it? But I just say on the Twilight Zone, like I was so taken back by like how well written a lot of the episodes are and how powerful they are. And I was like, no, this is more than just like a fun little science fiction show. This is like a genuinely good show that makes you think. You know, very much like Star Trek. Um, the original series definitely has a lot of that going on, but Next Generation, like I grew up watching it as a child in the '90s, but going back to it as an adult, you know, Next Generation, I just love the philosophical elements of it. Um, just, just brilliant stuff. Just really, and that's kind of the foundation. You enjoy the adventures and the different races they meet and different age of aliens and cultures. Great stuff. Like it's a lot of fun, but it's those moments, those really poignant moments between characters talking about essentially about life. And it's really philosophical stuff. I just think it's excellent. It's really, really powerful stuff. That's what makes Star Trek not just a fun science fiction show, but like for me, the best show I've ever seen. Next Generation, I just love it. I loved Kung Fu. I was in high school when that was popular. I have to collection. Kung Fu. I'm not familiar with that one now. Let me see. Kung Fu TV series. Um, what in 2021? Oh wait, 1972. Ah, 3 seasons. Oh, it's like a western. Interesting. An American action adventure martial arts western drama television series starring David Carradine. The series follows the adventures of uh, Huai Chang Kane and travels through the American Old West, armed only with his spiritual training and his skill in martial arts as he seeks Danny Kane, his half brother. Okay. I've never heard of that show. Never come across that one. But then there's always going to be a couple of shows, I guess, that are restricted to shown in America. You know, we get a lot of the stuff. We get a lot of the stuff. Like, I mean, I said in the '90s, I was watching. My Next Generation was on. Quantum Leap, Highlander, the t- Highlander the TV series. I really liked that. Obviously, the X Files, The Simpsons was a great comedy in its heyday. Simpsons, I can't believe it's still going. I don't watch it anymore, but it was at one time a brilliant comedy. I used to love Unsolved Mysteries. I know that wasn't like a fictional show. It was just kind of more kind of on strange happenings or stories or murders, disappearances. But the music for Unsolved Mysteries was classic. But then there would be reruns of kind of '80s shows like Batman used to be on Saturdays. Well, Batman was '60s, but Highlander. No, no, I really liked Highlander. I really liked it. It's a little like I look back now, it is a little dated, like but I still appreciate it for what it was, and it's a bit of nostalgia there. Um, but they also used to be repeats of Saturdays of the A Team, which I used to love watching that. Um, and then I remember the Dukes of Hazzard used to be on. I think that started in the '70s. Um, I used to watch a little bit of that when I was younger. Not as much though as the A Team. The A Team was a fun show, or reruns. Um, and MacGyver, a little bit of MacGyver too as well. But it's funny, like when it comes to westerns, like my dad used to watch them a lot, and I would have seen like kind of glimpses of stuff here and there. But um, I remember just when I started the channel, I was thinking, I was like westerns is like, because I love kind of period pieces, I love the setting of the old west, really great, especially in places like Santa Fe or those kind of things. Like the ones about the Mexican Revolution are often very fun. But I remember thinking like, this is like, there's so many westerns out there. Like this is like, there's so much potential here, and such a large number of films that I could watch from this genre. And it was so untapped for me. I've seen just like basically nothing from the genre. I was like, this is a great genre to go into. And I was thinking as well that like people, other channels, like I know they watched a couple of westerns, but not, I didn't think there was too much that was explored into. I think there's one or two reaction channels that have kind of now I've gone into watching some more westerns. But when I started, like there was very little. It was mainly just like you might watch Unforgiven or kind of one or two of the Dollars trilogy films or Unforgiven. But I think there's so many hidden gems like the Gunfighter with Gregory Peck. Like I think that's phenomenal. Or the Oxbow Incident. I think the Oxbow Incident. It's not just my favorite western. I think it's like one of the best films I've ever seen. I thought that was phenomenal. And there's ones like that, real hidden ones that like I think maybe people of an older generation would know and appreciate, but maybe some younger people, maybe my age and younger, wouldn't know. And it's maybe a shame they're not finding those. Like some great ones there. Yeah, I did as well. I like most. It's interesting because I thought I I thought Unforgiven was his best one. That was the one I enjoyed the most. But of the Dollars trilogy, I know the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is seen as the best one. I thought For a Few Dollars More was the best one of the Dollars trilogy. I really like Pale Rider, and I really like Two Meals for Sister Sarah. I thought that was great. But my favorite Eastwood film that I've seen, I didn't watch it. I'd watched it before I started the channel. But is Escape from Alcatraz. I think that brilliant film, but also I love the the story of that. Because to this day we still do not know whether they met or not. Yeah, High Plains Drifter, that was good as well. Which I thought that and Payload are kind of almost like companion pieces of it because they're both kind of about these almost spiritual figures. No, no, you're welcome, Roberts. I was actually supposed to come on at 8, um, but I came back from England this morning. I was like on 4 hours sleep, so I went for a nap around 6 o'clock, but I ended up sleeping longer than I intended. So I had to get something to eat as well, so I ended up going on a bit later. I had intended to come on at 8. Um, just the moment we were just talking about Eastwood's westerns, um, I was saying Lorinda just mentioned High Plains Drifter, and I was saying that and Pale Rider kind of almost like companion pieces in some ways because they're both kind of about these kind of spiritual figures that come into the town. I did like High Plains Drifter, but I preferred Pale Rider. But I think High Plains Drifter is probably the more popular of the two. Um, I thought the weakest was probably Joe Kidd and Hang 'em High of the westerns that I'd seen. Um, but I was saying that Escape from Alcatraz is of all these films that I've seen, that is my favorite because I love the story of Alcatraz. And you haven't seen him. I've only ever seen Clint Eastwood in Rawhide and Francis in the Navy. Uh, I actually mentioned Rawhide earlier. That's a show at some point I probably will try and watch for the show, even though I'm doing Gunsmoke. I've The first 16 episodes are up. Um, yeah, I'm going back to westerns probably in June because what? Oh, sorry, open sound. I don't hear anything, but if you guys if any of the others hear anything, let me know. Um, use the earphones for doing it properly. Uh, if you hear anyone else hears anything, let me know. I'm not hearing anything from my end. Maybe go out and go in again. Maybe might be better. Uh, but sorry, Mike. Going back to your thing about the westerns. In June, I will be going back to it. So I'm finishing up the science fiction run. I have two more to watch, and then I might do some old horror films for a little bit in May, and then I'll go back to the western because I still have to do. Well, Big Jake, I think, was in because I did a poll and I still have to do the final one. So I did kind of like 4 quarterfinals. You hear crackling? Okay. Hmm. Let me see. I'm not very not a tech wizard now, so hmm. not hearing anything, guys. If it's really bad, let me know. I might end it and start it up again. See what happens. Joe Kid, you watched it last week. Uh, yeah, Joe Kid, fun, but it's not. I thought it was one of his weaker ones. Um, I didn't think it was one of his best ones. But sorry, Mike. Just going back just to your point about Big Jake, I had done like four kind of almost quarterfinals polls of like different westerns. I'd finally got to the final one. I will get back to that because I want to do what one is to be the 100 western to watch for the channel. I've done 98. Um, Although I really like because Shenandoah isn't available. It was Jimmy Stewart western, which I really liked, but it continuously got blocked. I think about 5 or 6 times I tried to get it up and it got blocked. Um, yeah, I have rewatched a few of them. I rewatched what was that one? Rio Bravo with John Wayne because my dad loves that one, so I rewatched that one with him. I rewatched The Man from Laramie. I rewatched The Gunfighter, the one with Gregory Peck. I've rewatched The Big Country, also Gregory Peck and Charlton Heston. But that was The Big Country was a brilliant film. That was absolutely brilliant. But my favorite one was The Oxbow Incident. I thought that was phenomenal. Like that's not just my favorite western. That's like I was saying earlier, like one of my all-time favorite films. I thought that was incredible, and I was saying like it's kind of a pity that like more reactors aren't kind of watching some of those westerns as well. I know a lot of them watched kind of a few of the John Wayne ones and obviously a lot of the Eastwood ones, but there's kind of real hidden gems like that. There was also the one Garden of Evil with was it no, not Gary Cooper was in that one. I thought that was excellent. I really liked that. Um, High Noon I want to go back and rewatch because that was the very first one I watched, and I thought that was a great way to start my journey into the genre. Um, yeah, I he's good taste. He's good taste because I thought that was incredible. I thought that was so good. You just really feel for the characters. Uh, Henry Fonda like goes in that. Henry Fonda is actually in a lot of. I enjoyed a lot of his westerns. Uh, of He was in My Darling Clementine, which I think is probably the best depiction of the gunfight at the OK Corral. For me, I love that one. I also like the one with Burt Lancaster and um, Kirk Douglas. That was really good as well. Which I think that one actually was actually called Gunfight at the OK Corral. But then also, I really like the one Fonda did with the guy from Psycho, Anthony Perkins, um, where Anthony Perkins is like the sheriff. He's recently become the new sheriff, and Fonda kind of comes in and shows him the ropes and helps him out. Decided to do a whole Eastwood week of all his directorial efforts and thought his film Changeling was tremendous, based on true stories. Garden of Evil is a personal favorite. Yeah, Garden of Evil was brilliant. I haven't seen the Changeling, so I'd like to add that. Still plenty of Eastwood or films I've got to watch. I've watched all of his westerns. One he did when he was very young, in the 50s. High Noon and 3:10 to Yuma have a similar feel. Yeah, so I need to go back with High Noon and watch it again to determine that. But you're talking about the original 3:10 to Yuma, or are you talking about the remake? Because I have only seen the original one. I haven't seen the remake. Tim Starr, thank you, Mike. Yes, Tim Starr. That was really good. I really like that one. I kind of like that, finding these kind of hidden little gems of ones that aren't as well known and going and watching them and you're like, wow, that was like an excellent film, you know. Um, Even like with John Wayne, what was that? Hondo. I don't know like how popular that is among John Wayne's westerns, but I really like that. I thought that was really good. Um, the Searchers actually I rewatched as well because I remember when I watched The Searchers the first time, I was quite disappointed with it, just because I think because it was built up so much and so many people kind of regard it as like an inspiration. Like I know Scorsese and Spielberg both absolutely loved the film, and I remember a bit of the humor, which Ford does in a good lot of his westerns. He does a bit of humor, which sometimes I think takes away from the film. I don't mind a little humor, but sometimes I think it's a little over the top. But I have to say, going back watching it, like visually, it's stunning. Um, and I think I was maybe a little harsh, and I think I definitely revised my opinion of the Searchers. So if you go back and watch my review of it, it wasn't very positive, but I definitely have changed my mind on that one. There's a lot of things I really like, and the closing shot of him on the door with the song "Right Away," I think that's a phenomenal moment. It's a really, really good moment. And this happens sometimes. You watch a film and you're like, I don't know, and then you go back to it again and you're like, oh, actually, it's actually better than I remember. Uh, Tall in the Sand was very good. John Wayne Western the year after he made Stagecoach. Uh, don't know if I have that one on the list. If not, I will add it. Wayne has done like I knew he did a lot of films, but my God, he did an incredible amount of films. Like there's still I thought like I kind of like I've watched what maybe 16 Wayne westerns at this stage, maybe more on the channel, and there's still a lot to get through, which I'm excited about because obviously I've gone through all of Eastwood's ones. But I think he only did like 10, well 11 if you include the musical one he did with Lee Marvin, Paint Your Wagon, which I don't watch musicals because songs are a lot trickier when it comes to copyright, and it's a whole so much effort you have to put in where you nearly have to cut out the songs, which doesn't make sense reacting to it if you can't have the songs playing. But I'll probably watch it at some point just in my own time. This week I watched The Ninth Gate, To Have and Not Have, The Thing from Another World, Strangers on a Train, and Taxi Driver. Taxi Driver is my brother's favorite film of all time. It's really good. I love The Ninth Gate. I love with Johnny Depp. That's a really fun movie. I have that on DVD. I think it's really, really good. Um, I love the tone of it, and it even kind of pokes fun. I think a little bit at kind of like black magic and that. So a little bit of, it's almost like it's self-aware a little bit. But I thought that was a fun movie. And I also get Langa, something Langa for his first name, with the guy who hires Johnny Depp's character. I think he's really good in it. Have you seen The Shooters? Just finished it last night with my dad. Very well done. The Shooters, yeah, that's a brilliant film. My only regret is that, like, when I first started doing the channel, I was very conscious of getting caught for copyright. So a lot of for the first like few months, the films that I watched, the reactions were a lot shorter. It was like 10 minutes, and that was it. But yeah, I really, really like The Shooters. I thought it was a great way for John Wayne to close out his career, and just I love films or TV shows or plays or whatever it is that were kind of mortality and kind of what you've done with your life and time are kind of the central themes. So I really, really liked the way they did that with The Shooters. I really enjoyed that film. I thought it was an excellent film. Um, Dark Command is not a great Wayne Western from the 40s. Okay, so I had to go back a bit. I was so upset. When I watched Stagecoach for the channel, I don't know if any of you remember this. I accidentally deleted the file, and I remember saying like, look, I could go back and like watch it and then fake the reaction, but I didn't want to do that. So I just put up like a small little review. But I was really upset because I enjoyed that one. I know a lot of people. It's a beloved Western of Wayne. I think it was his first kind of big break. I know he did a lot of films before that, but that was the first big one. Collaboration with him and John Ford. So I was really annoyed and disappointed that I accidentally deleted the file. It was very frustrating at the time. Um, Maybe I might go back sometime and do like a live watch of it or something, and then like this on the stream and just watch it. Might be a fun thing to do. Um, I've mentioned this western before. Please consider the life and times of Judge Roy Bean, just for the cast: Paul Newman, David Garden, Anthony Perkins, Roddy McDowell. Oh, okay. Anthony Perkins, Roddy McDowell. I'm definitely on board with that. Um, Paul Newman though was he was in oh, what was the one? God, jeez, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which I said in the last live stream, and I know probably get a lot of flack for this, but I that was the most disappointing film I've watched on the channel because so many people have that as like one of the greatest westerns of all time, and I was like waiting and waiting and waiting on what is the love, where does it come from this film? It could just be personal taste. I just did not like that. I did not like it at all. There was one scene I enjoyed where I think you can chase up the mountains, which I thought was really good. Other than that, I was really underwhelmed. I will say one thing. I said this before. I thought that I could see influence from it though. Like I really saw kind of Lethal Weapon wasn't. I could see Lethal Weapon being inspired by it. I like Lethal Weapon. That's a good film, and I could see the inspiration, like how it might have inspired some of those action buddy cop action films that came in the 80s and that. But I was very disappointed with Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Yes, The Ninth Gate is pure genius in my opinion. Yeah, really good film. I think it's quite underrated actually. Dark Command pairs Claire Trevor would win a year after Stagecoach. Okay, yeah, I noticed that there was what's that one? The Undefeated. That was one because I was thinking about actually doing a Wayne, maybe a John Wayne centric month, just doing a month of the way I'm doing different genres at the moment. I'm going to come back to westerns, but I come back to westerns. But I was thinking as well of maybe just doing a month of just John Wayne films. I thought it might be a fun idea. Wayne did The Big Trail back in 1930, I think, which was a big western. Okay, very well. Watch. Okay. Yeah, I must go back and watch some of his earlier ones as well. Kind of cool to go back. I've noticed as well, like kind of the ones he's done, kind of after the Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, they are a little darker, which is probably because Eastwood had come along with the the Dollars trilogy, and it was kind of more of a cutting edge. And again, not saying that the ones like they did before that weren't good, because like Red River for me, that's a fantastic John Wayne western. That's one of my favorites. I really really like the Red River. That was really good. Um, but I noticed a lot of the other ones, like the Cowboys. That one was really good. The fact that I hope everyone has seen that film now, but the fact his character died as well in the way in which he died, brutal. Um, you really wanted the guys to go down after that. That was a Bruce Dern's character actually, because I think I read an old article or something where John Wayne was it John Wayne or someone else on the film said to Bruce Dern, "You're going to be the most hated man in America, and would you kill uh, the Duke's character?" You know. I was also directed Dark Command 10 years later. Okay. Um, yeah, Raoul Walsh. I've definitely. I feel like I've watched some stuff by him. That name does definitely ring a bell. It's funny because so many films you watch and you kind of get like, what was that name from? Where'd that come from? But there's like just certain actors that like I really like. I mentioned Henry Fonda. Like love him though. Like I would say he's one of my favorite actors. Like I know it's not a western, but the Grapes of Wrath. Another one I watched on the channel. Terrific film. That was a terrific film. Really, really good stuff. Jimmy Stewart, like I'd seen a couple of the his films with collaborations with Alfred Hitchcock, um, like Rear Window, for example. Like, I know that was a brilliant film, but I absolutely love Jimmy Stewart, and he has done some brilliant westerns. Like The Man from Laramie, I thought was a terrific film. Obviously, I mentioned uh, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Like I think that's John Wayne's best western, and Jimmy Stewart I think is brilliant in that as well. And Lee Mervyn. That's one of my all-time favorite westerns. I love that one. Um, what am I actually sorry? Sounds like Bruce Dern. He played all through those psycho cowboy parts. Have I seen him in other westerns? Oh, he appeared in what was it Hang 'em High? I think I saw him in, or was it The Outlaw Josie Wales? He was definitely one of Eastwood's westerns as well. Of course, I kind of knew him first through Laura Dern because I'd seen her in Jurassic Park. I didn't realize that they were Bonanza. I haven't watched Bonanza, the old TV show Bonanza. Um, wasn't Wagon Train? Wasn't that a Western TV show as well? Because I remember that being referenced in Stand by Me. Um, I think because they're commenting on like it's a really good show, but you notice they never get anywhere. But that was the comment in the film. Um, but I have to say, guys, Gunsmoke. Like, what is your take on Gunsmoke? Because I watched like 17 episodes now. 16 of them are on the channel, but I've watched the 17th episode. That's only available now on my Patreon and for channel members. But I think that's an excellent show. I've only 17 episodes in. I think it's brilliant. I am really really enjoying Gunsmoke. I'm just curious what your guys' take on it is. I think it's a brilliant show. And I was saying actually earlier that like I first heard of it through I have the Twilight Zone TV show, the series on Blu-ray, and after certain episodes, they actually show you adverts that aired back in the late 50s, and and I remember like Gunsmoke was one of the things they were saying, like Saturday night we would stroll down a Gunsmoke. And it kind of looks interesting. This is before obviously I started the channel, but it stayed with me because I remember I thought it was cool that they were showing adverts of the time, so you get a feel of what the audience were seeing. It doesn't hold my attention. Really? Wow, I think it's excellent. Maybe give it a second go. I think it's an excellent show, and I love uh oh god, what's the name of the guy who plays Matt Dillon? James Arness, yeah, who was also in them. And I've heard that he plays the creature in The Thing from Another World, which I haven't watched yet. I need to go back and watch that. Which obviously I've seen the remake from '82, which I think it's a bit different though. The John Carpenter's The Thing, which is an excellent film. I would like to watch that other one. But yeah, James Arness is great in it, and also oh god, he plays Chester, and he was also in Jewel, one of Spielberg's first films, which I think is a brilliant film. Um, what's his name? Oh, we Dennis. Is it Dennis Weaver? I think is his name. The interesting thing about the man who shot Liberty Valance is that it has no wide western expanses. It's almost like a western noir, very contained in one isolated town with lots of the night scenes. Yeah, and isn't it as well that because at that was like the '60s, so they actually it was Ford's choice to do it in black and white, which was quite cool. The Naked City was great. I don't know. I haven't heard of the Naked City. Gunsmoke was huge. Yeah, it was done like didn't it go? It went from like 56, 57 up to 75. There was like 20 seasons of it. I don't know if I'll get through all 20 seasons on it, but I want to. Cause I think at some point they switched to the hour format. But I will definitely do like the first 5 or 6 seasons on the channel anyway. Um, I mentioned earlier there wasn't really many on the chat at the time, but um, I've seen the first 2 or 3 episodes back about 2 or 3 years ago of The Fugitive, and I thought it was excellent. And I'm thinking that might be a show maybe to watch, might be a fun show to go back and watch for the channel. Even though I've seen the first 2 episodes, but I don't really remember a whole lot from it. But I remember really enjoying it, and my mom used to watch it back in the day. And I think at one point, well, actually, they didn't have a television at first, so they used to go to their friend's house to watch it. And if they couldn't get to their friend's house, their friend would relay to them in school what happened on the bus going to school. But she really liked it. Jim Vanessa is also the excellent Wagon Master. They're totally opposite character from Marshall Dillon. Wagon Master, okay, let me. Is that a movie or is that a TV show? Let me just Google it. Wagon Master, 1950. Western action. Okay, you know what? I'm going to add that to the list because it would be cool to see James Vanessa in a pretty different role. Let me just add it to the Western list. I'm actually glad that you guys are still recommending westerns to me because I know I kind of thought maybe you were kind of I know you mostly love the genre, but I thought maybe you would kind of we're kind of maybe we're kind of getting tired of me just doing westerns all the time, which is kind of one of the reasons why I took a break from it, just to kind of I know I had done other genres before, but I used to do like Wednesday and Friday, but then with work I couldn't keep up that schedule. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have kept it up, but I couldn't do a western and then a different film on a Friday. So I wanted to kind of explore another genre for a period, for a period of time. But what was the name of that again? Wagon Master. Look it up. But I'm glad that you're still recommending westerns to me because it's a great genre. It really is a brilliant genre, and I'm really glad that I started what I did with the channel. Movie directed by John Ford. Gunsmoke has something like 20 seasons, or something like three TV movies. Okay, I didn't know they did the films as well. Okay, I knew that they did 3 seasons or something like that. I knew there was a lot anyway, going up to like 75. James Rex did a pretty decent western called Gun. Is that supposed to be the 5 Man Down with Angie Dickinson? Oh, Angie Dickinson from She was in the one with Jimmy Stewart. Oh God, what was it called? Really good western. I think it's Angie Dickinson. It was. And she kind of reprised the role, do a version of it in Blazing Saddles as well. Um, God, I can't remember the film number. It was brilliant. I really liked that one actually. I'm pretty sure it was her. It was Jimmy Stewart from like the 1930s. I think it was. It was an early one of his. Um, Man Down. Let's Google that. I'd say it was a typo. Yeah, Gundam Man Down. I think 56. Okay. Let me add that in as well. Because it will be nice to watch some of these James Arness westerns after obviously been watching them in Gunsmoke. I'm just gonna get up because I had a subcategory for Eastwood and Wayne. Obviously, I've finished up Eastwood now, but for Wayne, I still to watch. I have the Horse Sol. Well, some of the ones I still have to watch. I guess some of the bigger ones. The Horse Soldiers, El Dorado, Rio Lobo, uh, Little Bighorn, uh, Tall. Oh, I have it actually. Tall in the Saddle. Someone had mentioned. Was it Robert had mentioned that one? The Big Trail, The Alamo, Big Jake, and How the West Was Won, The Undefeated. That's some of the, I guess, some of the big ones I still have to watch, but there's plenty of other ones that I did earlier. I'm thinking of a different lady. I think you said there, Angie Dixon and Dressed to Kill. Yeah, I'm thinking of a different lady. I mixed her up with someone else. I think was she German? The actress I'm thinking of. Have you seen the Horse Soldiers? I have not seen the Horse Soldiers. I think that is that John Ford as well, but I don't think it's John Wayne in it. Um, I'm pretty sure I have that down on the list, but I haven't seen it. Oh, it is John Wayne. Sorry, direct. Yeah, direct by John Ford. Wait, did I just read that actually? I did. Sorry, I literally just read it on the list. Sorry. Yeah, I have it on the list. The Horse Soldiers. I think actually I stopped myself from. I think I was planning to watch it, and I stopped myself because I think I had gone through most of the Wayne Ford collaborations with Western, so I wanted to save one for a while. So maybe that was why I hadn't got to that one yet. The Cavalry trilogy as well, I think, are some of the best Wayne westerns. Like the She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, and again with Henry Ford or Henry Fonda as well, who I mentioned earlier that I love. That's another one. I think one of Wayne's best westerns. I think that's brilliant. And then there was She Wore a Yellow Ribbon. Um, what are the other two called? I think were really good as well. Mine's gone blank now. Sergeant Rutledge. Oh wait, hang on, sorry. So Henry Dickinson is in Just to Kill. It was only on for one season, but check out the Adventures of Briscoe Country Jr. Bruce Campbell, Jeffrey Bourne was one of the producers who produced the movie Indiana and the Lost Crusade. Wait, Bruce Campbell? When was it? Oh, Briscoe County. Is that a western? Let's see. Oh, it is a western. Cool. I like Bruce Campbell. I enjoyed him in The Evil Dead and in the TV. Oh, it's 92% Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't always go by that, but that's pretty good. Sure. Practicing law to bounty hunting. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that actually sounds like it could be a fun show. Maybe that'd be another one at some point. As I said, I obviously other shows I could watch for the channel. I'm still on Star Trek, and I'm only like halfway through season two, so that's going to be going for a while. And Gunsmoke is well, obviously that's on the Patreon page now and the for channel members. So if you want to check out the Gunsmoke reaction, as if you're fans, you can do that. But I was looking at other TV shows I could watch down the line. That might be another one to look at. Sergeant Rutledge is a great underrated John Ford Western. I have that on definitely have that on the list. of the Western list of other films to watch. So I definitely have it there. So I'll have to check that one out as well. I've seen a couple of episodes of Briscoe County Jr. That's actually a pretty good show. Yeah, just at least from reviews, it seems to be uh, some positive feedback there. So yeah, I'll have to look at it. Right now, I have the Horse Soldiers on pause. Yes, Ford and Wayne. Yeah, no, I'll definitely will watch that one at some point. Absolutely. And Kelly with Mick Jagger. There's this combination of Western sci-fi and comedy. Bruce Campbell looks a lot like Clint Walker in it. Yeah, I really like Bruce Campbell. He did there was a TV series version. Maybe you haven't seen it of The Evil Dead, and it's kind of a lot more comedy. Well, to be fair, the sequels of Evil Dead were comedies as well, but the show was really good. Um, it was very very good enough. But then he also didn't he do a film where he played himself, and he just basically taking the piss out of himself, like but it was really funny. I like people who poke fun at themselves. Um, yeah, kind of reminds me though of what's that actor? Another actor that Chris Campbell always reminds me of. That's like a younger version of him. Oh, it was that guy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Xander. Uh, Nichols, something Nichols. I can't remember his real name, but he always reminded me of a younger version of Bruce Campbell. But yeah, other shows like think of other shows. Did any of you guys? Did you watch the Fugitive, the TV series? Any of you? As I said, I saw one or two episodes and I really really liked it. I think that could be a fun one for the channel as well, maybe at some point. And then for other Western TV shows, obviously Bonanza and uh, Rawhide with Clint Eastwood, and then as I mentioned earlier, Wagon Train. I was checking out Clint Walker. He's Clint Walker. Have I seen him in any westerns? Oh, oh, he's in the Dirty Dozen. I haven't seen that. More Dead Than Alive, Four Jobs, The Night of the Grizzly, Yellowstone Kelly, Cheyenne. Was that a TV series? Oh, another Western TV series. Was that what he was most famous for? The Cheyenne TV show? Another Western I could look at. Two episodes of Fugitive comes on here at 4 a.m. though. So. Yeah, no, I watched one or two episodes and I really liked it. Well, I remember we used to have I used to have a sci-fi show, and they would show some old shows, and one episode come on just randomly, and I just sat down and watched it, and I really liked it. Um, I think since watching the Twilight Zone as well, kind of TV shows from that era have become something that I've been really drawn towards. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. But yeah, as I said, going forward, so like I'm so I showed my girlfriend the original Planet of the Apes, so I'm going to show her the sequel. Then I'm going to watch because I won on a poll on my Patreon. Um, the Day the Earth Stood Still, and then that's going to close out the period of watching sci-fi films. Then I'm possibly going to go into horror for a few weeks in May, and then it's back to westerns for a while. And then I'm not sure after that. Let's see how things go. But westerns will definitely be coming back. As for western, The Last of the Mohicans, the Daniel Day Lewis, yeah, that's supposed to be an incredible film. I've not seen. Based during the French and Indian War of 1757. Sorry, what was the frontier in that time? Yeah, no, I've heard that's supposed to be a really good film. I need to watch that one. Maybe that could be another one for the channel. Um, I was trying to think of other like old science fiction films. Have you any suggestions or recommendations when I go back to it again? because I might even do some more of those kind of creature feature ones, like Tarantula and Den. They were really good. They were just good, brilliant. Also, if you're doing horror, watch please Night of the Demon. Have I seen Night of the Demon? Let me just. Why have a different name for it? I don't think I have. Night of the band. Check why. 1957. Okay, I'm just. You sure I have them? No, I have not seen that. Okay, that might be one. Because I'm looking at older horror films anyway that I wanted to watch. Okay, cool. That's a good recommendation. I might actually add that in now. Or the Wolves with Gene Barry. Yeah, I did because I was thinking, wasn't there a remake of World? Oh no, wait, sorry. I think there was a remake of War of the Worlds as well, but a remake of the Day the Earth Stood Still. No, I've not watched. I've not watched the original Fly. I've seen the one with Jeff Goldblum, but I really want to watch the old one, the one with Vincent Price. But there is one. The only pity is that there's the one scene that I've seen a clip of it where he's in the web with the spider, which is absolutely petrifying. But I've never seen the full film, so I would like to watch that one as well. As I say, is the thing from another world. Yeah, thing from another world is definitely one. When I go back to science fiction again, I will definitely watch that one. It was kind of deliberating. I had that up on a poll against the Day the Earth Stood Still on Patreon, but the Day the Earth Stood Still won out. So I was between the two of those for the last installment. War of the Worlds I'll have to come back and watch at some point as well. Um, Invasion of the Body Snatchers I've watched on the channel and absolutely loved it. Absolutely brilliant. But I've not seen the 78 version with Donald Sutherland, so I'll have to watch that. Fate of the Earth remake is bizarre and frankly terrible with a gold cast. Yeah, like I absolutely would want to go for the originals. You know, I would be more drawn towards them. But yeah, there's some good ones there. I'm gonna actually put down the Night of the Demon. I'm going to put that down now and actually officially add that to my schedule for the horrors. Let's go down through here. Bear with me one sec, guys. Excuse me. Save that. Michael Rennie was great in the Day the Earth Stood Still, but I preferred him in his. Have I seen him? Michael Rennie. What did I do that guy? No, I don't think so. Wait, was there a remake of The Lost World? Because it says he was in that. Because I was actually I had been thinking about watching the silent version of The Lost World. But was there a remake? It says it 1960s. It's 1960s, so there must have been a remake of it. But I don't think I've seen him in anything before. Yeah, there's definitely plenty of stuff still out there for me to watch, which is good. I mean, there's so many movies. You're never going to get through everything. That's kind of the beauty of it. There's always stuff out there to watch. But yeah, as you were asking, like I definitely will be going back to westerns. It'll probably be June, but definitely will be going back to them. Here's my macaroni and cheese, but we watched the original Star Trek for a horror movie, Teen of the Spiders, starring William Shatner. Yeah, actually, that was the one I would like to watch because I obviously I have a bit of a fear of spiders, but I do like watching spider movies. Like I watched Tarantula. I watched Arachnophobia with my girlfriend because I've seen it before, but it just was an excuse to watch it on the channel. Um, and obviously, the Incredible Shrinking Man had some terrifying scenes where him with the spider. So yeah, I would like to watch King of the Spiders. I heard it's quite cheesy, but I think I would like to. And also, I think it's set kind of in is it Arizona? And I like kind of as the summer months are coming to watch kind of some films with that kind of a setting, a deserty kind of setting. I like that. So there might be one I could add for the horror month. But yeah, it's good shout actually as well. To be honest, like some of the sci-fi ones could actually fall into horror. So like maybe I could watch like the thing from another world for uh, the horror period, even though it's kind of a mix. So some of those could work out for both sci-fi or horror. Because what are your thoughts on the original Planet of the Apes? Because like that for me is that's one of my all when it comes to science fiction, like that's up there for me as like one of my all-time favorites. I think it's a ever since I was a child, I loved that film, and I feel like the new ones, I like the new ones, but they don't have the same essence that the original one had. There's just something about it, the setting, Ape City, the music. I just think it's just so unique and I'm glad they didn't because originally I was reading they were going to do like the novel where it was going to be a contemporary setting. I'm really glad they didn't do that. I know they kind of in the third one they kind of had that, but it's flipped, where the apes are like in Charlton Heston Taylor's situation. But I liked that setting, that kind of almost Stone Age kind of setting. I absolutely loved that, and that was kind of what intrigued me about it as a child. Um, and to this day, I still love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, like if I was to rank the original five, like I think the first one is the best. Then I like Beneath. Some people don't like Beneath. I like Beneath the Planet of the Apes. It's not as good as the first one, but I like that it still has that Ape City setting, and then you go underground, and they really like. To be fair to them, they really tried to make it different. They didn't try. Well, at least for the most part, they didn't rinse and repeat. I know you've got Brent, who's kind of similar to Taylor. He's crash lands. Excuse me, but there was enough that was different about it, and it's such a strange movie. But excuse me, I really like it. And then I think Conquest would be next, the fourth one. I thought that was really good, kind of showing how the uprise happened, where the apes started to take over. Then I'd probably go Escape, and then Battle is probably the weakest, the last one. I'd probably go one. So I'd probably go Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Conquest for the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, and then Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Probably to be my ranking. But I really love the TV show. I've actually gone back rewatching that. I love the TV show. It's such a shame they only had one season. Um, the two astronauts again, and you'd Roddy McDowell back playing Galen this time. I mean, he's in every incarnation except for the like out of the original films, except for the second one because he was already working on another film, so he couldn't come back. But to be fair, Cornelius and Zira roles were kind of reduced in the second one. I wonder was part of the reason of that because Roddy McDowell wasn't available to film the second one. But I said he was in all the first one and the other four after the second one, or the other three, sorry, and in the TV series. So like from what I've heard, like he really loved making those films and was a big fan of the franchise, which is cool. Checking the time, it's 11. Okay, I think. Have you seen Silent Green with Charlton Heston? Yes, and similar to well, not quite similar to Stagecoach, but I recorded a reaction to it. Really liked the film, by the way, but I could not get it past copyright for whatever reason. There's certain films, and I was surprised, like, because it's an older film. I was surprised, but I just whatever I did, changes I'd make, it was just impossible. I couldn't get it past copyright, unfortunately. But yeah, I really like Silent Green. I love the Omega Man with Charlton Heston as well. That's a really good film. And another one I watched for the channel, Earthquake. Different kind of film, but that was a lot of fun as well. Um, I must watch. Is it the Towering Inferno? Because back in January I watched The Poseidon Adventure. That was another one of the big disaster films. But I'd love to watch The Towering Inferno. But yeah, to answer your question, Silent Green I have seen, and I really liked it. It was very good. Um, but yeah, I was just going to go in, guys. I think I will have to leave it at that because it is just after 11. It's getting quite late. But I'd like to thank you all for coming in for the chat. I wanted to do a live stream because if I missed the post, I had a play I was working on. We actually did 4 nights last weekend, and then I was in England this week. So I just didn't really have an opportunity to get much recording done. So I wanted to come on just to do something for the channel. So we have something to engage with, which is why I wanted to do the live stream. So that was why. So as I said, tomorrow morning. I'm going to record my girlfriend's reaction to Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and then Star Trek, and then I'm going to get Star Trek back on as well, and then it'll be The Day the Earth Stood Still, and then it'll be up to horrors for a few weeks. Because as I said, I'd like to thank you all for coming on. Everyone that came on to chat, we always really enjoy it. I'll try to do another one again in the next few weeks if I can. And let me know as well, guys, if you're enjoying them. If you're enjoying the live streams. It's always fun to chat about movies, TV shows. I love it. So it's always nice to chat to you on that. But I hope you have a nice Easter, guys, a nice weekend. And I will talk to you soon. But until next time, it's long the fall.